Not really interested. Oh, that's right. That's my dog. Hello. Sorry, Juneau. Hi, my name's Hannah. I'm recently starting this YouTube channel. It's gonna be a hodgepodge of things. If you wanna stick around for it, like and subscribe. We're doing some rescue dog stuff today. I've done a little bit of COVID vaccine, swabbing, nursing stuff, things like that. We'll do some low waste stuff, some lifestyle stuff. In the summertime, I do a lot of furniture refurbishing. We'll do decor, all things like that. So if any of that interests you, please comment down below what you wanna see, like, subscribe, and let's get on with the video. Today, I'm gonna do a little introduction of Juneau. I don't think she really cares to be here because there's a squirrel outside the window right now, but I'm gonna do a little bit of a series on rescue dogs, what you need to know. I rescued Juneau just before quarantine started, so about 9 or 10 months ago now. I'm gonna bring you guys down so that you can see sweet little June. So she has been my first rescue dog that I have ever owned. She's my first dog that I've ever owned just myself and has not been a family dog. And I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about her because I am gonna do a couple videos on what to know about rescue dogs, and now you'll know how it all came to be. Right, June? So her name's Juneau as in Alaska because she is part Alaskan Malamute. I had a bunch of other names. I have lived most of my life with a list of dog names in my notes, so I just had so many to pick from, and I think she's the cutest thing in the world, and any of them would be fitting, but we landed on Juneau. She was formerly known as Effie, E-F-F-I-E, and that was just at her foster house that she was in for a year before she got adopted, and I didn't really love that name. I don't know, it wasn't it. Juneau seemed a little more fitting, and I will kind of talk about this in another video, but she dealt with the transition of switching names and switching homes really, really well. So people change dogs' names all the time. I don't think it's a big deal. I think if you get a dog, and even if it's an older dog, I think you can switch the name as long as you do it right. So Juneau is a mix of a bunch of stuff, as most rescue dogs are. She is mostly Mastiff. You can't see because she's mostly behind me, but you can see her little end there. And our other side here, she's a big dog. When I got her, she was about 110 pounds. Now she's down to about 100 pounds. They said that she could go all the way down to 90 pounds, but I just like her chunky. Yes, I do. So she's 50% Mastiff, and I only know this, by the way, because her foster family did a DNA test panel on her, so I know the exact breakdown, which is kind of nice because whenever you have a dog that isn't purebred looking, that's the first question everyone asks is, what is she? So she's 50% Mastiff. The other 50% breaks down into 3 different breeds, 12.5% each, and that is German Shepherd, Alaskan Malamute, and Golden Retriever. You can kind of see her tail at the end here. My assumption is that she normally would have had a long kind of like husky looking tail between an Alaskan Malamute and Golden Retriever and German Shepherd, that she would probably have like more of a fan tail, and I'll get into her story a little bit about why it's just a little cute nub. Sorry, I didn't mean to embarrass you. So what we do know about Juneau is obviously the breakdown of her DNA and the different breed mix that she is. What we also know is that she's from a reservation way up north. I believe it's on the border-ish between Minnesota and North Dakota, but she's not like super local. So she was found on a reservation way up north. As far as we know, she was just a stray, and I believe they found her just kind of outside of an abandoned building. I kind of remember her foster family showing me a picture of her just kind of on concrete where they drove past and noticed her. So it appears that she was just a stray, maybe living in, around, or near an abandoned, like, department store or something. That's all we really know. I think that if I knew too much more, it would just make me sad. I'm happy to know that whatever she's experienced in the past, right now she's experiencing something better. Like I said, she was with a foster family for a year, almost exactly 1 year. And that is because this place that I'm wearing the t-shirt of for this video, Coco's Heart Dog Rescue in Hudson, Wisconsin, is where I got her. And this rescue organization is really, really great, and I'll link them down below, and I cannot say enough good things about them. them, but they don't do a traditional like humane society shelter, you walk through all the cages of the dogs kind of thing. They do not intake any dogs that they don't have a foster family or a house lined up for. So the second they have a stray dog that they're going to bring in, they make sure that a foster family is lined up to intake that rescue dog until they find their forever home. She was in that foster home for exactly a year, and I was the only inquiry about her that at least made it to her foster family. So there could have been somebody else that asked about this dog but wasn't deemed fit by Coco's heart, so they didn't make it to the point of meeting her and things like that. But the foster family told me that I was the only person that they had any interest from, which is sad, but also I couldn't be more grateful for that, because I wouldn't have her if, you know, she was super sought after, because she'd been there for a year, and if I had gotten her a year prior, I wouldn't have been ready for a dog for a bunch of different reasons. So I'm happy that the timing worked out the way that it did. My assumption is that the reason that it did take so long for her to be adopted is she doesn't really look good on paper. It's not really good. She doesn't really look good on paper. Has some issues. She has a couple issues that I'll tell you guys about here, and that is, one, she has a bladder incontinence issue. I'll put up the full name of it here, but it has to do with her urethral sphincter. It doesn't have to do with her bladder, it has to do with her urethra, which closes on and off her urine stream. And when she relaxes or falls asleep, that urethral sphincter relaxes as well, and she usually lets go of urine, or we just call it leaking. So that was something noted on her profile, and she's actually mad now that she's embarrassed. We have medication for this, and it controls it really, really well. So twice a day, once in the morning, once at night, she takes a little pill and peanut butter, and it's just kind of a treat for her, but it means that we do not have her leaking all over the house. That's something that I knew going into it, and also knew was manageable going into it. I know that she basically has all of the like risk factors for this. She's a bigger dog, she's a female dog, she was spayed, and she's an older dog. And by older, I think it can just mean any adult dog. You're less likely to have it as a puppy, but could grow into it as an adult dog. So the other thing, if I can find a picture, I'll put a picture of her in her little diapers that we had before we had her controlled on medication. So she does have little diapers that she doesn't even mind wearing that much, but she's so big, and we have the biggest size for her diapers, and they're just a little snug. It's really nice to have her controlled on medication, but that is something that I needed to consider before getting her, because it is an extra added cost. The other thing about Juneau that kind of looks bad on paper, as I said, is that she does have dog aggressive tendencies. It is not all the time. Sometimes it's just excitement. Sometimes it is a bigger deal. It's something, again, that I don't put any blame on her for. It has to do with the way that she has always lived prior to the last year or two of her being adopted. She was really made for a long time to see other dogs as competition for resources and kind of that hierarchy. And so there are some dogs that she doesn't like and is not very nice to. What I will say is that she lived in a foster home that had multiple other dogs that she was not aggressive with. It's just, you have to be more diligent about the socialization process. She's not going to dog parks and things like that, because it would just be too overwhelming. I know that she wouldn't do well. And I have had her foster family had a situation where she put stitches in her Rottweiler. I don't think that saying that you have a dog aggressive dog, or a dog that doesn't do well in every situation, means that you're a bad dog owner, you have a bad dog, you haven't trained it well enough, whatever. I think that there's tons and tons of reasons why dogs have behavior that isn't necessarily acceptable to humans. So that has been something that has been a challenge, but I really wouldn't change it. I think that it is important for people, especially rescuing dogs, but with any dog, to know that you're not getting a perfect dog without any challenges, because there isn't really any such thing. There are exceptionally good dogs, exceptionally trainable dogs, and dogs that have a couple more issues or bad behavior. But I think it was important for me to not have a super easy dog. I think it was important for me to see that there are very real challenges that come with this responsibility. The challenge was good for both of us. She's learning how to be a better dog and not be stressed out in those situations, and I'm learning how to not put her in situations that will make her feel like she has to defend herself, because that's really the biggest thing that I want her to be aware of, is that she isn't living in that spot anymore. She does not have to defend herself. She still sometimes eats rabbits because she thinks she has to find her own food. I'm gonna end this video by saying all the things that I'm really, really lucky about having Juneau, specifically Juneau. I'll do another video on, okay. There's a cat outside. Okay, now I'll talk about how lucky I am to have Juneau, because I do feel very, very fortunate. I couldn't love her anymore. I don't know how else to say it without sounding cheesy and cliche, but it's been so challenging and just so perfect all at the same time. I expected to love her because she's mine, but I didn't expect to love her this much. I didn't know what it'd be like to adopt an adult dog, but it's just the perfect fit. I got to teach her how to play with toys and how to walk next to me and how to know that we are a pair and that we are buddies, and she's so trainable and aims to please and works really hard to learn. And even though she struggles with meeting other dogs, she loves humans and makes everyone that she meets fall in love with her. She charms everyone, she leans on them, lays by their side, or if you're really lucky, she'll sit on your lap. She's just the sweetest, gentle giant, and she really does mean the world to me. I'm so happy that she's mine, so yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Juneau actually just asked if you guys would like and subscribe. Sorry.